Okay, before I go into the video here, I'm going to talk a little bit before I go into it. And you see all these bottles here. They've been sitting here for like a few hours already. So I have cleaned them all, then I refilled them all, and I'll show you a little bit later. Now before I go into the video, I'm going to show you a little clip of what I did with all these bottles, especially these right here. These are from my coffee that I used to drink, and I used to save them, and my grandmother used to yell at me and tell me to throw them out. But I was like, you know, they're so good. They're really nice bottles. And best of all, they are, what you call it? The recycle number 2, which is the HD, I call it high def, HDPE, I think, something like that. I'll just list it right here, which is like, you know, safe plastic, you know, as far as I know. So I've been drinking off on those a lot, and I have tons of it. And then I also have, I drink Poland Spring bottle, which I buy, and those are right there, you know. And I used to have tons of those too, but she was yelling at me to tell me to throw it out. And here's the funny thing. We have, like, downstairs, the room downstairs is like, I have 2 rooms that's like practically empty. All junk is in there. And I said, why can't I just store them in there? And if, you know, and she was like, oh, you're just crazy. You're just saving all this stuff. You're just doing all this stuff. You're just crazy. Well, guess what? Ha ha ha. Who's crazy now? Okay, before I go into the video, I hope you guys can see. I actually saved all my coffee cans. Not cans, but bottles. Sorry, the little light here, they didn't pick up. Like, if I shut off the camera, it actually more light. I don't know why. But I saved them all in here, and I have another bag. And I saved all these in here. And before I'm going to show you what I do with them, I'm just going to show you what happened. I used to drink a lot of coffee, and I didn't know what to do with these bottles. Okay? And they're PE free. In case you don't know what that is, the recycling number 2, PETE, and or another one is, I call it Pete, and then another one it's HDPE. That's another type too, and that's for like chemical wise, and they use that recycling as well. But for these here, so I've been saving for a little while. I just rinse it and I just throw them in the bag and stuff. And I had like bunch of big Poland Spring bottle and everything, but my grandmother over there complains that I should throw them all out. So one day I took, I believe, like it was 2 bags of these big nice bottles, you know. And I said, you know, someday maybe I'm going to need them. And guess what? That is today. And these right here, it's 1.5 liter. So even if you use 2 liter a day, with all the bottles I got, I can probably store them like 60 days right there. I can even use them just to like wash our hands and stuff with it, you know. But I mean, we could have just threw them all in these bags like here, and when things like this comes, you know. But and I said to myself, maybe I should store the water in there, and then in case something happened, like power failure or what happened, you know. And now look what happened. If they shut everything down because of the pandemic, if they shut everything down, we're gonna have problems with the water, because you have to remember, if there's no power, there's not gonna be any water First, they're gonna run with generators, and then they're gonna try probably with solar. But in our town, I don't think there's any solar. There's like a little solar farm down, but I don't know how much that thing produces. Probably gonna be running generator to pump up all the stuff. But here's the thing: the generator won't be able to recycle all that water. So the water plant will probably have to be shut down as well. Because, it takes a big, huge motors and stuff to take all that water to get good water to distribute it to everybody. You know what I mean? And if you're living like wells, and if there's no power, you won't be able to pump up your water up. You know what I mean? So there's various things. And if you see this video right now, you probably wants to be like me and start, put them in these bottles like this. Any type of bottles that is the HDPT or HD, or I call it PETE. Something like that. The recycled is number 2, okay? Just remember that one. I can't think on top of my head right now. But you can put them in there, and then in the summer, you can always water your plants and stuff. That was my plan. If I don't use all of these waters, I'm going to water the plants with them. So now we're going to go into my reserved. I'm going to show you my reserve stuff, okay? Who's crazy now? And the reason why I'm doing this is actually this is not even my real water. This is my backup water. Okay? I have my real water, which I'll show you a picture right now. Okay? That's one of them. And then the other real water, I store them in the closet. So there's another one right there. And I actually have another location. I didn't take a picture of those. I have about maybe some of those are actually my my distilled water. Because if you watch my other videos, like up here, I've been drinking a lot of those distilled water lately. And these actually come from city water. And we have a filter. So we only have a little filter on the bottom of our sink. So there's still a little bit, I can smell them a little bit. So what I do is I fill this up. See it? And I wait for a little while so that the smell will disappear. Once the smell disappeared, then I close it up. And during the day, I do all these right here. And what my plan is for these are my backup. Remember, even though they're in good plastic, I still use it as a backup. What is the backup? Meaning, I'm going to use them for brushing my teeth. I'm going to use them for maybe my dog. And I'm going to use it for in the backup drinking. Because we're going to drink the good stuff first. That's our regular. And then we're going to, after that, if we run out of those, and these will be our backup. But we're going to use these first to cook with. Because they've been filtered, but they're not really, really good filter. We got a bunch of water that you saw the picture. Oh, I'll post them right now. Those are the big bottles. And those are the one that we're going to use for drinking. And then for these wise right here, my grandmother's like, maybe you should use them for flushing the toilets and stuff. If that's the case, I'm like, If it comes to like 2 to 4 weeks, I am not going to use these as toilet water. Trust me, I'm gonna poop in plastic bags, and I'm just gonna throw it out in plastic bag. I am not wasting, even though these water right here, I am not going to flush the toilet with it. I am sorry, but that's not going to happen. I'm going to pee it in a bottle. I'm going to bring it outside. I'm going to throw it out on the street or whatever. There's a manhole down the street. I'm going to bring my pee down there if I have to and dump it there. I don't care. Because let me tell you, this is not, even though this water is a backup of my water, it is not going to be. It is not going to be wasted. Trust me. If they shut down, okay, here's the stage that I see. Okay, I want to explain it a little bit. And yes, I'm going to try to make this video as fast as I can for everybody. Number one, at first, this is what's going to happen. You have to remember, there is no fuel. We need fuel. In order for all the pumps and all the recycling things that they recycle, all the water and everything, okay, I can actually go to my dad's house and we can actually use the well water. So that's another backup of that. But here's the thing. If there's a major disaster or a snow, whatever, we are going to have a problem with the pump to pump up. We would have to turn on the generator, and then the generator would pump up the well water, and then we're going to have to store it. So if you see this video, you might want to just take a bunch of the, the plastic bottles that you have or whatever, like, these right here, these big ones that I have that I've been saving. I mean, I could literally have tons of these because I went on my experimenting between regular Poland spring water and other water, blah, blah, blah. I had tons of these jugs, and I've been throwing them out. And because my grandmother keep yelling at me, it's telling me that I should throw them out. I'm just, saving them, blah, 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 blah. But here's the thing. These are good plastic bottles. They're not bad plastic bottles. I mean, they're not like the stuff that I drank long ago, used to scratch my throat and blah, blah, blah. But these are the good bottles. Even the Coke bottles right there, those are good bottles right there. And funny thing is, it's like, I've been saving them, and then she tells me to throw them out. And I said, I can store the water in here. I'm going to store the water in here. And I told her, I'm going to store the water in here. And in the summer, if by the summertime I'm not using them, I'm going to take it. I'm going to water the garden with it. You know what I mean? I'm going to go and water the plants with it and stuff. And then I'll save all the bottles for next year if something ever happened like this again, or like a big storm. The last time we had this big storm, we would have 6 days. And I'll probably make a separate video on those. But we had 6 days without any without power. And you have to remember, if you rely, because we have wells water, you have to remember, every time there's a big storm, there is no pump. There's no pump whatsoever. And we would have to boil the water in, like these right here. If I had these as backup, I would have boiled it, and I would have, bathed from that or whatever. You know what I mean? Or even wipe myself with it. I mean, I can't really bathe, but I can wipe myself with it. You know what I mean? So these, like I said, these are my backup. But they're not really real water, because the drinking water is so important. You know what I mean? So right now, my grandmother and I have about, my calculation, it's about 60 days of water. Yeah, I store that much of water. We have them, these big jugs, and I'll show you the picture right now. That was when we just got it yesterday. Those are the ones we got yesterday. I just took a picture of those, but I hide them in my closet, and I hide them in another area so people can't find. Because if you see my other video, my dream up here, I'll link it right up here too. It was my pandemic dream. Oh my God, that was a horrible one. But that was long ago, and I didn't think of but now I made the video. So you should check that one out. It was really funny. But so we store a bunch of those big ones, a bunch of those big bottles. Those are the ones we actually going to drink. And you have to remember, in a day, a person should drink about this much of water right here. So you saw all my stuff earlier with that clip right there. I should have more than 60 days, because you have to remember, me and my grandmother would have to drink this whole thing, so 2 a day. So at least we need about 120 of these to last 2 days. Do you know what I mean? I mean, to last 60 days. And then all the other stuff, it's you have to remember, we have to cook with them. We have to. My thing is that we're gonna eat a lot of cans, that have already water in them. We just dump it in, and we need few. I gotta make a separate video how we cooked it last time too. How we cooked during the 6 days. I want to make that video because we survived 6 days, 6+ days without power. And it was almost the 7th day. It was by the afternoon, that's when they had the power back. So me and my grandmother was, cooking little things, and we just eat out of cans, and we eat out of little things, and we were cooking with stuff, and we were boiling water. She had to boil her water for her coffee and stuff and everything. And it was 6 days. By the time in the afternoon, it would have been 7 days. I think they got it by like 12 o'clock in the afternoon. And it was like 9 o'clock at night where we first have our power outage. So more than 6.5 days without power, and that's a long time. And I've read a lot of stuff that people, like in hurricanes and stuff, like 10 days without powers. So during that time, you have to remember, fuel is very important. Your propane is very important because that's what you're going to rely on. And propane is very valuable. I'll make a separate video on those to show you how we did it for 6 days. We had 2 propane tank. That's all we live on. 2 propane tank and a little stove. Like, we tried to save as much gas as we could. And but that's not what this video is about. This video is about me prepping all this stuff. And imagine I actually got yelled at for saving all those stuff. And I'm like, oh, it's like this morning I fill all these stuff. It's been like about maybe a few hours now. About 4 hours now. I wanted to leave for 6 hours. And that way all the water would be like whatever it is to evaporate. I wanted to leave it for 6 hours before I actually close them up. And then I'm going to do my next batch. I'm going to keep doing it until all those things are empty. So I got like tons more coming. I have 4 bags. You saw 2 bags right there, but I actually have 4 bags because last year I drank a lot of coffee. And before I quit, and I just rinse it out. I left it there and I said, these are very valuable because look how nice they are. They're very valuable. Why would I want to throw it out, And so I kept it, and I kept 4 bags total. And now look what happened. Now I'm able to use it. And even if I do, this is for my rinsing or my washing my hands or whatever, you know what I mean? So it's not like it's my grandmother woke up and she saw a bunch of these on the thing, and then I said, ha ha ha, Gram, who's crazy now? Okay, just to let you know that who is really crazy now, because she called me crazy for saving all this stuff right here. And I said, right now, if they shut this town down, if everything is shut down right now, I can literally have water for 60 days. Yeah. I'm gonna fill up 2. I'm gonna fill up 2 garbage, not garbage, but I have these containers that I got long ago for a project I never done. It was a plastic 60-gallon plastic tubs, And I'm gonna fill all those up too today, and I'm gonna leave it. And if something happens, that's my backup. Because then I can use it for other things. I can use it to wash things, and I can use it for a lot of things. I mean, imagine if you have 60-gallon on reserve. You know what I mean? I should have kept the pool. That would have been nice. The pool is all messed up now, but that would have been nice to fill up the whole pool with just water and just let it sit there. And you can use it for like washing yourself, or I use it as a pump to pump my toilet or whatever, while other people would be out. You know what I mean? So it's a lesson for sure, okay? Because you would never, ever think that someday like this will come. And as far as I see, in order for everything to work right, we have to shut down for like at least 2 weeks. And I saw the news recently not the news, but also on YouTube too, that the Japanese and the Italian has shut all their country down, so that way they can contain. And it's sad as it seems, but that's the way it has to be done. I mean, in order for everything to pick back up, we have to do something. And you know, once things like this is being really blown up, like for the past just one day, it's like 1,000, over 1,000. This is the first time I ever seen over 1,000 people worldwide as being infected. And remember, in beginning, there was not that many. So I hope, like, if you see this videos and stuff, I hope you start taking all your bottles and just fill them up with water. It doesn't matter, just regular water. Even if you're in the city and you have a little chlorine water in it, just throw it in there, because by that time, later on, you can use it to wash yourself with it. You can use it to bathe. You can boil that. Or here's another thing. You take this, right? And you put them in a big pot and you stir it around and you leave it for like 2 hours or so. All the chlorines and stuff and everything's evaporate, and then you can use that to cook with it too. So just remember, it is not just about, you know, being backup or anything. This is about cooking and everything as well. And this is, like I said, my backup. I have a backup water right now, and like I said, I calculated out me and my gram would survive about 60 days, okay? But during that 60 days, that's just for drinking only. We're not counting the water to cook with. So that's why I said I am going to fill all these up, okay, as much as I could, and I'm going to leave it there. And if I don't drink it, if we don't use it during all this time, because you have to remember, this bottle right here probably would have to be 2. You know, we would have to use 2 to cook and rinse our stuff with, you know. But during that time, you have to remember, we got a lot of canned food, and we have rice, and we have beans, and then we have pasta. I no longer eat pasta, but my grandmother does. So she's going to live on pasta and vegetables and stuff. And then we have canned meat. And that's all we've been doing. That's all we've been having. That's what the last time we did when something like this happened. So that's what we're doing. The same thing. We got vegetables, all the vegetables that I like in cans. And then I have some frozen, which is going to use like regular water like this. And I want to do it, which is frozen. And if the power goes out, I have to eat the frozen stuff first, you know, because that's the only way. And then I got all those bags. They're like 99 cents bag, but they're like huge bag for like 99 cents, the store brand. And those are frozen stuff. Frozen vegetables like carrots and peas, just normal stuff, you know. And I love broccoli and cauliflower. Those are my favorites. And other stuff too, but those are 2 of my favorites. So what I did was we bought a bunch of those, and then our meat is from cans, like chicken and tuna and fish. My grandmother likes fish, so she got a bunch of those. So tuna, fish, and chicken. And then I said that before, it's hot dogs, very important, because they last a long time without the packaging. And then also these Vienna sausages that my grandmother likes. We got a bunch of those. We're gonna get more actually this weekend. And then I have then other stuff like beside, like, you know, water. We have beans, like bunch of beans that we like. Some beans that I like. I don't like a lot of beans. My grandmother does. And then we have soups. And then we have cans, mostly cans, because they last a long time. And then we have rice and pasta. And because I am gluten intolerant, so I have to eat a lot of rice now. And yes, if you are gluten intolerant, you're going to have to buy a lot of rice, because it makes me sick, like really make me sick with gluten. And it's a tough journey, but it can be done. And then I've done a lot of those stuff, like dry stuff, like anything to do with dry stuff. I did like bunch of noodles. I did bunch of soup, dry soups that my grandmother likes. I don't like oodle noodles because it has wheat in it, but if I bought it anyway, just in case. I mean, when growing up, I used to love oodle noodles, but when now I starting to see that I am wheat intolerant, so I don't have a bunch of those. But also potato. There are cabbage. Cabbage lasts a long time, really a long time. If you just take one leaves at a time, don't cut it right in half. Okay, if you have cabbage, the cabbage, I found out a cabbage can last 3 months if you take leaves by leaves by leaves on the outside rim. Take each one of those and then put it back in the bag and put them in your refrigerator again. But if you cut it in half, they won't last long. Okay, just remember that tip. Yeah, I learned that on the cabbage. It lasted for 3 months if you take each leaves on the outside by little. And that's what we did too when we were on this thing too. So potato, cabbage, and all those little, onions and all the stuff. Onion is pretty good too for like just steaming onions. But yeah, there's a lot of vegetable that would last a long time. Radish and stuff, they last a long time as well. And oranges and apples, they last a long time too. I should make a video separate of those, but this is about water. But I'm just gonna tell you a lot of stuff that we did. So that's because it's based on a 6.5 day plus almost 7 days. Now imagine surviving all that time, all that. So water is going to be really important, as everybody knows. So that's how I'm going to do it. That's how I've been doing. And I'm going to stock it some more and more and more and more until I have enough. And like I said, summertime comes, if I don't use any of these, because these are my backup. This is backup of my water. That's how far I'm taking. And if I don't use any of those, I'm just going to take it. I'm going to dump it in our garden and let the plants have it. So there's two things coming out of it. You know what I mean? If I don't use it, the plant's going to have it. So it's not going to go to waste by doing this at all. The only thing I don't like it because probably a lot of people won't like it because it's in plastic. A lot of people don't like plastic. But at least I know this is safe. And I wish I got glass jars. That would have been awesome. But I don't have any glass jars. I have glass jars, but they're like really like small, It's not going to carry this much. So, but like I stated, it's my backup anyway. But anyway, I hope that this is useful to someone out there that planning to go this route. And I hope you could put this into consideration, that this is a backup of a backup. Okay, please remember that. This is not my backup. I have my backup, which I have that picture, and I'll show you one more time. I just took one of the pictures because I have a bunch of other locations. I got 2 more locations of those. I believe we had like 18 of those 3 gallons, and then we have, I bought like, I don't know, maybe I spend, there's 8 more. So 8 times 5, that's 40 gallons. 40 gallons, and then I had 18 by 3. I don't know, I can't calculate on top of my head right now, sorry. Got too much going on. But you can tell I have a lot backup. But this is also, you saw the video a little earlier, that was a backup of a backup, but this is a backup of a backup. And I have to fill more of those because this is I have done second stage. Because I wanted to show you that I actually put them in other bottles, not just these. This morning, I did 20 of these. And then this is my second ones. And now it's been about close to 4 hours now. I'm going to leave it to 6 hours. And then I'll cap it. You know what I mean? So until that time comes, and then I'll cap it. So 6 hours, I leave them empty like this right here. Just like this before I go, okay? I leave it out just like that and let things come out just in case there's any smells, and then I cap it. Okay? Anyway, other than that, that's about it. I mean, this is not something I do regularly. It's just that I am just preparing. And like I stated, If I don't use it, I'm just going to water my plant in the summer. And then I'll keep all the bottles again. And then I'll redo it again when something like this ever happened again. Because we don't know. Okay, so if you see this video, please make sure to have extra water. Because that's the first thing you're going to have. Water and rice. And if you can deal with gluten, then water and pasta. And all you're going to need is just water, pasta, and butter. That's what my grandmother was eating. She was eating pasta and just butter. That's all she did. While I was eating rice and noodles. Because I can't stay away from noodles. I love noodles. But anyway, other than that, that's about it on this video. And I hope you take this into consideration if you've seen this video. Because it's you know, it's getting close, okay? And we are really getting close right now. And and you saw earlier, I had the post of the pictures of the town was like so quiet. You know, our town is so quiet right now. But anyway, other than that, that's about it on this video. And I will see you in the next video, okay?